Beloved starseed of Gaia, someone may carry a deep love for you, but the higher field has been clear that not every love that burns inside another person is permitted to become a sacred union in your life. I am Mayan, Pleiadian emissary of the High Council of the Seven Sisters, and I speak through the crystalline current of Alcyone to help you understand why a connection can be emotionally powerful, spiritually familiar, and even sincere in feeling, yet still not be allowed to enter your field in the form your heart once imagined. By the end of this transmission, you'll understand exactly how to receive the Pleiadian light codes behind this forbidden union, why this love was blocked, and why your star family is asking you to listen before you confuse intensity with permission. But here's the first revelation. A love can be real in someone's heart and still be unsafe for your destiny. You are remembering because it is time. There is a reason this message may strike a tender place in your chest. Someone is deeply in love with you, but the higher field says this relationship was never allowed. The human heart may hear those words and immediately feel conflict. If there is love, why would it not be allowed? If the feeling is strong, why would the path close? If the connection feels familiar, why would the door remain blocked? This is where the Pleiadian field asks you to rise above the human addiction to intensity. Intensity is not always alignment. Longing is not always destiny. Recognition is not always permission. Some connections arrive not to become your home, but to reveal where your heart still confuses longing with truth. This does not mean the love was fake. That is important. Many souls want simple answers. Either it was real or it was false. Either they loved you or they did not. Either the connection meant something or it meant nothing. But the soul field is more nuanced. A person can love you from an unhealed place. A person can feel deeply for you and still be unable to honor your light. A person can recognize your energy and still be attached to the version of you that overgave, waited, explained, or abandoned yourself. A person can desire closeness while being incapable of carrying the responsibility that true closeness with you would require. This is why the relationship was never allowed in its old form. Not because you were unworthy, not because love was absent, not because the source wanted to punish either of you. It was not allowed because the field around it could not hold clean union. It carried too much confusion, delay, fear, secrecy, imbalance, projection, or unresolved karma. A love that enters through distortion may feel magnetic, but magnetism alone does not make it sacred. Sacred union requires truth. It requires maturity. It requires a nervous system willing to meet love without turning it into control, avoidance, obsession, or repeated pain. You may have sensed this before your mind accepted it. Perhaps your body tightened around the connection, even while your heart wanted it. Perhaps you felt drawn and drained at the same time. Perhaps there were signs, dreams, synchronicities, and emotional waves, yet there was no stable peace. Perhaps one part of you wanted to believe this was destiny, while another part whispered that something was not clean. That whisper matters. The Pleiadian heart does not ask you to deny love. It asks you to listen to the quality of the field carrying that love. There are loves that come to awaken you, not to stay. There are loves that mirror a wound so clearly that the soul finally sees where it has been waiting for someone else to choose what it must choose for itself. There are loves that reveal the places where you still hope intensity can replace consistency. There are loves that open the heart, but cannot build a life. There are loves that make you feel seen, but only partially. There are loves that feel ancient because they are tied to old patterns, old vows, old lessons, or old energetic contracts. Ancient does not always mean aligned for now. The higher field blocks certain unions because your path would become smaller inside them. You might have become addicted to waiting. You might have dimmed yourself to keep the connection. You might have accepted fragments while calling them fate. You might have mistaken emotional chaos for spiritual depth. You might have confused their longing for your assignment. You might have tried to heal them with your devotion until your own field became exhausted. The block was not cruelty. It was protection. Sometimes the most loving answer from the source is a door that refuses to open, no matter how strongly the heart knocks. This is difficult to receive because the human heart often believes that love should be enough. But the Pleiadian field brings a deeper law. Love must be clean enough to support the soul's expansion. Love that keeps you in anxiety is not the form of love your higher path can build upon. Love that requires secrecy is not the form of love that can hold your star remembrance. Love that asks you to shrink, wait indefinitely, compete, prove, beg, or ignore your body is not allowed to become the temple of your future. The soul may honor the feeling while refusing the cage. Someone may be deeply in love with you because they recognize your light. They may feel your warmth, your sensitivity, your depth, your energy, your ability to see beyond masks. They may feel something around you that they have not found elsewhere. But recognition is not the same as readiness. Many people recognize the light and still do not know how to stand respectfully inside it. Some want to possess what they do not know how to honor. Some want to be healed by what they do not know how to protect. Some want access to your softness without accountability to your truth. This is why the field intervened. The old version of you may have interpreted this intervention as rejection. You may have asked, why would I feel so much if this was not meant to become something? But feeling deeply is not always a command to proceed. Sometimes deep feeling is a lamp shining on an unconscious attachment. Sometimes deep feeling is the soul showing you what you desire, so you can stop settling for shadows of it. Sometimes deep feeling is a memory of love from another plane, but the human conditions around the person are not aligned. The heart can honor the memory without entering the distortion. The Pleiadian Collective wants you to understand that forbiddance does not mean evil. Blocked does not mean meaningless. Not allowed does not mean unloved. It means the form was not permitted because the form would have violated a deeper protection. The energy may have been real, but the structure was not clean. The longing may have been mutual, but the path may have been unstable. The attraction may have been intense, but the consequence may have been fragmentation. Your star family is not asking you to hate this person. We are asking you to stop confusing their feeling with your permission. This is one of the greatest initiations in love, learning that not every person who loves you is meant to have access to you. Let that enter the body slowly. Someone can love you and still be unable to meet you. Someone can miss you and still not be safe for your nervous system. Someone can desire you and still not be aligned with your destiny. Someone can regret losing you and still not be prepared to honor you differently. Love is not only emotion. Love is action, timing, maturity, truth, integrity, and the ability to hold the field without repeatedly injuring it. The hidden revelation before activation begins is this: the relationship was never allowed because your soul had already outgrown the version of love it represented. At one point, you may have accepted emotional intensity as proof of destiny. You may have accepted inconsistency as mystery. You may have accepted longing as devotion. You may have accepted waiting as loyalty. But the Pleiadian codes in your heart have been restoring a higher standard. You are being trained to receive love that does not require you to abandon yourself in order to feel chosen. Beloved, if this transmission is already touching the place in your heart that has struggled to release a love they felt powerful but could not become peaceful, your star family has prepared a deeper path for this exact threshold. The Pleiadian bloodline method, Unlock Your 7 Inheritances, was created not as information to collect, but as a sacred map for healing, remembrance, and crystalline integration for starseeds, learning to distinguish true union from karmic intensity. It carries the love frequency of Alcyone, and the wisdom of the seven sisters for souls ready to reclaim their field. Release forbidden attachments and receive love that honors the destiny the Source placed within them. You will find it in the first pinned comment below this video. Available now for those who feel called to receive the next layer of their Pleiadian inheritance. Now the first movement is to stop arguing with the block. When a door remains closed after many signs, many attempts, many emotional waves, and many inner negotiations, the soul must eventually ask whether the closed door is itself the message. This does not mean you suppress grief. It means you stop calling resistance guidance. You stop trying to force a path that keeps costing your peace. Place one hand over your heart and say, if this was blocked for my protection, help my body trust the protection. The body may not understand immediately, but the statement begins to loosen the old attachment. As the body softens, begin separating love from access. You can acknowledge that love existed without granting the relationship access to your future. You can honor what was felt without reopening the field. You can bless the lesson without returning to the cycle. You can admit that someone cared for you and still recognize that their care did not have the maturity required for union. This distinction is liberating. It allows the heart to stop needing to call the person false in order to leave. Sometimes the truth is simply, the love was real, but the form was not allowed. Then the heart must release the fantasy version. Often what hurts most is not the person as they truly were, but the imagined version of what they could have become, if healed, if ready, if consistent, if courageous, if honest, if available. The fantasy version can keep a soul trapped longer than the actual relationship. The Pleiadian field asks you to gently gather the energy you placed into their potential and return it to your own becoming. Their potential is not your home. Their unchosen healing is not your assignment. Their possible future self cannot replace the reality of how the connection affected your body. The next movement is listening to the nervous system. Did this love bring stable peace, or did it keep you activated? Did it make your body feel safer, or did it make you monitor every sign? Did it invite your voice, or did it make you swallow truth? Did it support your purpose, or did it consume your attention? Did it honor timing, or did it keep you suspended? The body knows the difference between love that expands and love that entangles. The mind may argue, the longing may romanticize. The body will tell the truth in sensation. From there, you must let grief move without turning grief into a command to return. Missing someone is not always a sign to go back. Feeling love is not always a sign to reopen. Dreaming of someone is not always a sign of union. The energy body releases through waves. A wave is not an instruction. It is movement. Let the wave pass through prayer, breath, tears, writing, walking, or silence. Do not let every wave become a doorway back into the pattern. The soul can grieve and still remain aligned. Pleiadian love is not sentimental. It is deeply compassionate, but it is also clear. It does not say, keep suffering because the feeling is strong. It says, honor the feeling and obey the truth. It does not say, punish the person. It says, release the field. It does not say, deny the connection. It says, stop using connection as a reason to abandon the body. It does not say, love is dangerous. It says, love must be clean enough to become a temple, not a wound you keep decorating with spiritual language. You may also need to release the idea that if someone loves you deeply, you are responsible for their heartbreak. You are not responsible for managing another person's unprocessed longing. You are not responsible for becoming available because they finally realized your value. You are not responsible for rewarding feelings that did not come with maturity. Compassion can wish them healing without placing your own destiny in their hands. This is important. Some souls use guilt as a rope back into a forbidden field. Do not let guilt imitate love. The Pleiadian field now asks you to reclaim the energy that was tied to waiting. Waiting for a message. Waiting for clarity. Waiting for them to choose. Waiting for the relationship to become clean. Waiting for proof that the feeling meant something. Waiting for the block to disappear. Waiting can become an energetic room that consumes months or years. Step out gently, not by hating them, but by choosing your own life again. Ask yourself, what part of my destiny has been waiting while I waited for this love to become allowed? Begin there. As you begin there, you may feel power returning. Not harsh power, soul power. The power to wake in the morning without checking the emotional weather of another person. The power to create without wondering whether they are thinking of you. The power to choose relationships that feel peaceful in the body. The power to trust that the source does not need to use confusion to deliver true love. The power to let the forbiddance remain forbiddance because you finally believe protection is not punishment. This does not mean love will never come. It means the form of love that matches you now must be different, cleaner, braver, more honest, more consistent, more available, more respectful of your nervous system, more supportive of your mission. The block around this relationship is not the end of love. It is the clearing of a lower form, so a higher form can find you without competing with the old attachment. If your hands are full of what was never allowed, how will they receive what was prepared? There is also a timeline lesson inside this love. Sometimes a connection appears to show you what must no longer be delayed inside yourself. While the person carries feelings, your soul may be learning to stop making another person's emotional state the center of your own destiny. You may have spent too much energy wondering what they feel, what they will do, whether they will confess, whether they will return, whether they will finally become honest. But your path cannot orbit another person's hesitation forever. The Pleiadian field asks you to return the center to your own heart. What are you meant to build while they are uncertain? What truth are you meant to speak while they remain silent? What part of you is waiting for permission from someone who cannot even give permission to themselves? This is why the connection can feel powerful and yet remain blocked. Power is not the same as permission. A storm is powerful, but you do not build your home inside it. A wave is powerful, but you do not confuse it with the shore. A longing can be powerful, but if it does not become a stable bridge, it may only keep you standing at the edge of your own life. The source is not asking you to deny what you felt. The source is asking you to stop letting what you felt become a prison. You can honor the storm and still choose shelter. You can honor the wave and still return to land. You can honor the longing and still choose your own future. Some of you may feel guilt because part of you knows they love you. You may think that if their love is deep, walking away makes you cruel. This is a misunderstanding of compassion. Compassion does not require you to become the answer to someone else's unhealed desire. Compassion does not require you to become available to a connection that cannot hold integrity. Compassion does not require you to sacrifice your peace so another soul can avoid their own growth. You can send love without sending access. You can wish them healing without becoming the place where they postpone it. You can say, "May you find the courage to become whole," while still choosing not to become the container for their confusion. The field around this connection may have carried lessons from old timelines, family patterns, or previous soul agreements. You may have recognized each other because there was something unresolved, not necessarily because there was something meant to be completed through union. A karmic thread can feel magnetic because the soul remembers the unfinished charge. But completion does not always mean relationship. Sometimes completion means refusal. Sometimes it means blessing. Sometimes it means no longer reenacting the same wound with a different face. Sometimes it means the soul finally says, "I have learned what this pattern came to teach me, and I release the need to learn through suffering." You may also need to forgive the part of you that wanted this love to be allowed. There is no shame in wanting love. There is no shame in hoping that a powerful connection could become safe. There is no shame in imagining a future with someone whose energy touched you deeply. The heart reaches for union because the heart remembers unity. But the human path requires discernment. Not every feeling that awakens the heart is meant to become a life structure. Forgive yourself for hoping. Forgive yourself for waiting. Forgive yourself for reading signs through longing. Forgive yourself for needing time to accept what the body knew earlier than the mind. As forgiveness enters, the attachment begins to loosen. You may still feel waves. You may still think of them. You may still sense their energy. But sensing is not a command. A sensitive starseed can perceive another person's field without being required to respond. You may feel their longing and still choose your peace. You may dream of them and still honor the boundary. You may notice synchronicities and still refuse to abandon the lesson. The gift of sensitivity must be paired with sovereignty, or it becomes a doorway through which every unfinished energy can enter your body. This is where your Pleiadian inheritance of sacred union begins to awaken. Sacred union is not the union that activates the deepest wound. It is the union that welcomes the deepest truth. It does not require you to become anxious to feel connected. It does not keep you in mystery to maintain power. It does not need secrecy to feel intense. It does not punish your boundaries. It does not make you choose between your heart and your nervous system. Sacred union expands the mission, steadies the body, clarifies the path, and allows both souls to become more honest, not less. Let the blocked love teach you what clean love must feel like. Let it show you that chemistry without consistency is not enough. Let it show you that recognition without responsibility is not enough. Let it show you that longing without action is not enough. Let it show you that spiritual familiarity without emotional maturity is not enough. These lessons are not punishments. They are refinements. They help you stop accepting half-formed love as destiny just because it arrives with intensity. Your heart was made for more than being emotionally haunted by someone who cannot meet you in the light. There is a higher love preparing you through this release. It may first come as love for yourself, the love that lets you sleep without checking, the love that lets you stop interpreting silence as a secret message, the love that lets you choose a peaceful future over an addictive possibility, the love that lets you say, I do not need to be chosen by what cannot honor me. This self-love is not a substitute prize. It is the foundation. Without it, even the right love can be distorted. With it, the wrong love loses its power to convince you that pain is proof of depth. As you call your energy back, imagine all the threads of waiting returning to your heart. Threads from old conversations, threads from imagined futures, threads from unspoken words, threads from signs you used to analyze, threads from dreams you held too tightly. Let them return without judgment. Let them become light in your body again. You are not stealing love away from anyone. You are bringing your own life force back from a field where it could not bloom. This is sacred retrieval. This is remembrance in action. The ultimate revelation is this. This love was never allowed because your soul was being protected from confusing emotional intensity with sacred union. The source was not denying love. The source was refining your definition of love. Your star family was not closing your heart. We were helping your heart become safer inside your own body. The connection may have awakened you, but it was not permitted to define your future. It may have touched you, but it was not allowed to own you. It may have been real, but it was not your final home. Tonight, before sleep, place one hand over your heart and say softly, I honor the love that was felt, and I release the form that was not allowed. I receive the Pleiadian light codes that help me distinguish intensity from alignment, longing from permission, and attachment from sacred union. I call my energy back from waiting. I trust the protection of the source. I open to love that is clean, mutual, honest, and safe for my destiny. Speak slowly. Let the words reach the places still arguing with the closed door. Let the body feel that release does not mean betrayal. It means return. In the days ahead, watch what happens when you stop feeding the fantasy. Watch how much attention returns. Watch how your body feels when you choose not to check, not to chase, not to interpret every sign through longing. Watch what creativity rises. Watch what peace becomes available. Watch what truth you have been avoiding because this attachment kept the heart busy. These signs will show you that the block was not empty. It was making space for your return. So when you hear, someone is deeply in love with you, but this relationship was never allowed, receive the purified meaning. Let it mean that feelings are not always permission. Let it mean that your destiny matters more than someone's longing. Let it mean that the source can protect you from relationships that look powerful, but would make your path smaller. Let it mean that you are not being asked to hate them, but to stop abandoning yourself for the possibility of them. Let it mean that your heart is being upgraded into a cleaner form of love. And now, feel what has shifted. The longing is no longer the only truth in the room. The block is no longer only pain, it is protection. The connection is no longer proof that you must wait. It is proof that your heart can feel deeply and still choose wisely. Your star family is near, helping you separate compassion from access, memory from destiny, and love from the form that was not allowed. You are not losing love. You are losing the illusion that love must cost your peace to be real. Before you scroll, take a moment to be part of the unity grid forming here. Drop one heart intention in the comments something real. Then respond to someone else's with love or encouragement. This isn't content, it's collective Pleiadian reunion. Energy multiplies when hearts connect. If something in this message resonated with your soul, don't keep it to yourself. Someone in your orbit is waiting for this exact activation from their star family. Share it, and if you felt your heart open subscribe, stay connected to the frequency. You're not just watching, you're remembering. This is your sacred space. Your Pleiadian family is here, and we're just getting started.